Well, we're a couple of minutes past, so we'll just, I think we may as well kick off and get the ball rolling. Thank you all for attending today. Hi, my name is Carolyn Mackley, and I'm a part of the National Travel Group looking after national seniors travel, and our favourite today, trade travel. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. Today's webinar is scheduled for about an hour, including some question and answer time. So please do pop any questions that you may have into the Q&A feature at the top of your screen. We really would love to get your questions so we can, answer anything that might pop up along the way. Everyone will be on mute during the presentation, so the best way to, ask your questions is just pop it into the Q&A or into the chat, and then at the end of the presentation, we'll have a dedicated amount of time to go through those questions and come back to you on those. Today's session will be recorded and it'll be made available post-event. So if you feel like you've missed anything, you can go back and watch it again. If you've got any technical issues, please just ping me and I'll just drop it in the chat, and then we'll be able to have a look and see how we can assist. So without any further ado, I will hand over to Kayleen.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for your valuable time this afternoon. Some of you I do know, but welcome to everybody. Beautiful sunny day. So thank you for taking the time to sit inside and have a look at this webinar. So today I'm going to cover off on who we are and what we do, us as a company, how you can work with us, some of our amazing tours. I'm going to touch on some international and some domestic today. I'm also going to finish with a little bit about joining our travel club and a look at some of our groups on tour. So let's jump right on into it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the area sales managers based in New South Wales. So, and I am a long-term travel person. So I've been in travel since 1994. So I'm clocking up a fair amount of years in the travel industry. I started my travel career down in Tasmania and then did some in the Blue Mountains, and was selling Europe for 7 years, and then trade travel now back in 2009, and again now for the past 6 years. So I do host tours myself. So I do get around to a lot of these destinations, hence I can answer a lot of questions. But yes, of course, as you know, the world's a big place. So I'm still working on getting to everywhere. So who we are as a company. We are a travel company that offers escorted tours, cruises and holiday packages for the mature age market. So when we're talking mature, we're talking 60 years plus. So that's who most of our travel holidays are booked for. So we're part of the National Travel Group. I'm talking trade travel, but I'll just touch on each of the brands now that you see on your screen, and we can talk about them individually. So National Seniors Travel, that specialises in more of leisure travel service for free and independent travellers. So if you're a member of National Seniors Australia, may have seen National Seniors Travel. We provide tailored experiences for you as a couple or an individual or a small little group of friends travelling together when you're planning your own trip to do it yourself. So that's under National Seniors. With National Travel, that's our signature brand and the group name. And this is more of your bespoke style of touring. So what I mean by that is like it's a premium product. So this would be more benefit, say, for example, if you were wanting to do something like an Abercrombie and Kent tour that is a little bit more high end, you might pop together a tour, a trip for your family members to go to Africa and celebrate a birthday, and you might want to do some 5-star experiences over there. And this is more, again, your free and independent travel, which National Travel can help you with. Again, we're talking about the mature age traveller, but of course, if you're taking your family, we book all types of experiences within that brand. And then the one that we're going to concentrate mostly on today is trade travel. So trade travel, we do escorted tours. So we've written tours in-house or curated tours in-house for, again, the mature age traveller. And we work a lot with clubs, groups, and of course we have a range of tours on our website, which I'll go into shortly. We are definitely nationally recognised and accredited. So when I'm talking about the left hand, or my left hand, the NTIA winner, we have in our industry what's called National Travel Industry Awards. And we've been the winner in both 2023 and 2024 with our company. But we are also been nominated for Trade Travel this year as well. So we must be doing something incredibly right to be nominated within our own industry when there's lots of wonderful companies out there doing great things. So it just is a testament to what we're doing. We do have all of our accreditations, and I think that's important for you to know, because when you're trusting someone with your holidays, it's important that you know that we're accredited and we have all of our ducks in a row in that area. Likewise, if you're booking a cruise with us, we are in the association CLIA, which is within the cruise industry as well. So that does show you that we are a professional organisation with our nationally recognised and accredited. We are also trusted by a couple of leading organisations within the mature age travellers space. So we're talking Probus Partner, which you would know about. So we've been a national partner of Probus for over 20 years. The relationship started back in 2003. 2005, we became a national partner, and to this day, we have had a long association with Probus, and it's important to us that we continue on with that relationship moving forward. And then we have a preferred travel supplier arrangement with National Seniors Australia. So they have chosen us, Trade Travel, to be one of their preferred suppliers, National Travel Group, under their preferred supplier arrangement. So that does tell you that they value what we do as well. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time on this particular slide. So this is what we're talking about, what's included in our tours. And we know that you as professional tour lookers are looking around at what is on the market and what is available for you. So one of the things that's important to know is that when we write our tours, of course, we write them for the mature age, but we also consider what's actually included in our tours. So we're talking about mostly inclusive here. So when we piece it together, we'll always pop in flights from your home port if they're warranted. We'll have transportation from the airport and transfers within the itinerary as needed. Most of our meals are included, so definitely a full breakfast and minimum 2-course dinner. Quality accommodation, it's important to know that we sit at that 3.5 to 4-star range. So we're not a budget option. So that is important to know you're getting that quality there. We also have not only the majority of our tours are Trade Travel hosted, but we do bring in experienced tour guides and local experts. So when you're talking your value for money of what's included in tours, the only things you're really paying out from your pocket would be things like some lunches here or there, teas and coffees if you're buying a barista coffee out on the road, and maybe your alcoholic beverages. And occasionally, if we have a scenic flight or a helicopter, we'll pop that in as an optional because not everybody wants to do that experience. So that's the majority of our tours and what's included, but very much we want to offer you value for money in that quality space, in that value for money space. So the other thing that we have brought in this year, you might have noticed there is a little volatility within the world with areas of travel. So we understand that when you're looking to book either a tour or you're mostly a tour, we want to provide you with some flexible booking terms. So that gives you peace of mind. We've offered that you're able to do a bit of a flexible arrangement on all new bookings made between April and August of this year. Of course, we can explain more about that when you talk to our consultants, but it is good for you to know that we are thinking of you with those flexible booking terms because we know at the moment there is a little bit of uncertainty in the world. So let's have a look at our touring options. With our private groups, what we're talking about here is more like if you're in a bowls club or a guarded club or a small group of friends, or you're going, for example, overseas, if you wanted to go and visit some factories of a certain thing. So they're what we call our private groups. So we do handle those as well. We definitely welcome solo travellers on our tours. If you would like the room to yourself, there is a fee, well, not a fee, but the cost of the room does have to be charged. So if you're having that room by yourself, the full cost of the room is yours. So there is an amount on our tours that does reflect you paying that extra amount to have the room for yourself, and it's called a single supplement. But by all means, we do welcome lots of solo travellers on our tours, particularly as you're travelling as a club. You have a lot of single people wanting to just have their own room because they're with people throughout the day. So yes, we do welcome loads of solo travellers on our tours. Our public tours, so they're what's up on our website. We have certain dates and they're costed up, and anybody can join these, from a single to a double to a small group of friends, remember, in the mature market. So if you wanted to have a look at our website at some stage to see what tours we do have available, they're called our public tour departures. On our website, you'll also see a little area called short breaks. So that does give you some ideas if you're a tour organizer and you're looking to plan a trip for your club and you wanted to get some ideas on some short breaks, they're up on our website for you. And of course, under our public tours and also within our booklet that gives you Australian and international destinations, not only as public tours, but for club departures as well. So I'm going to hop into showing you some of our product now. And I'm going to start with international, and I'm just going to highlight a few international trips. And then I'm going to go into our domestic product or Australian tours. And then at the end, we're just going to recap on a few things. So first of all, I'd like to highlight our Sri Lanka tour. So this is the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. We're getting a lot of people who want to visit Sri Lanka. It's on everybody's list, a great place to visit. We've popped together this 14-day, 13-night trip to Sri Lanka. This one does have a trade travel host going from Australia on this, so that's important to know. And then the minimum number on this one would be 20, but we are definitely looking at this one going in November. The highlights here, of course, you're going to be looking at your Colombo City Discovery Tour. You've got your candy markets, Ramboda Falls, the Royal Botanical Gardens, and no visit to Sri Lanka is complete without checking out some of the elephants over there and the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So it is packed full of wonderful attractions in the area, and the turtle hatchery as well. So really good value for money, 14 days, 13 nights, the trade travel way, with your breakfast, lunch and dinners as per the itinerary, your flights. Of course, if anybody does want to upgrade to business class, subject to availability, that is an option, and you'll be looked after from woe to go on this one. Now, what I'd like to do right now is actually introduce to you our small groups tours in Asia. So we have a product specialist in our team by the name of Andy, who has spent quite a bit of time designing Asia itineraries. And we are very lucky to have him on board. What he's done is pop together a group of tours that are smaller group options and have been created in-house to give you the best Asian experience. So some of the things that are going to be in these itineraries for you are, first of all, a smaller group size. So we are capping these tours at a maximum of 16 people. The minimum will vary depending on the tour, but if you work on 10, that's a pretty safe place to start. We have easy pacing of these tours, so we're not going to be rushing through these. And we've also popped into these tours some me time. And what we mean by me time is that we have days here and there throughout the tour that you can have some time for yourself. So if you wanted to pop across the road to visit the markets across the road from your hotel, have some time to shop. If you want to sit by the pool with a cocktail and read a book, if you just need some time out from the group, you can do that. If you wanted to go off and do something in particular in that city that's not covered in our itinerary, it's absolutely me time. And that's important, we believe, to ensure that you're getting the best out of these tours. The quality 4-star accommodation, and this one will be locally hosted. So this one, what we've done is we've vetted some local hosts that will join the tour from the beginning and stay with you right through until the end. And the reason this is important for these tours is because they know the country intimately, they know everything about it, and they can liaise with all of our expert local guides as well, so that you're getting the best experience. This one is more for your mobile or more active travellers. So you do need to have a reasonable level of fitness for these tours, as you do need to be able to walk a few kilometres at a time for these trips. So it's important to know that this is a more active style of touring. One of the destinations that we're going to highlight with these smaller group tours is Timeless Thailand. Now, I'm pretty excited about this one because we don't think you'll find it anywhere else. The other thing is Thailand has traditionally, I guess, been known as a fly and flop, I guess, just sort of Phuket or some of those beach areas. But this one actually takes you into the real Thailand. So you're touring through central Thailand. You'll visit some of the World War II history sites, like we'll be looking at the Thailand-Burma Railway Museum and the War Cemetery. We'll also take a long-tail boat along the River Kwai to the famous bridge. And then in this itinerary, we are excited that we've actually got a 3-night stay at the end in Chiang Mai. So not only do we get to unpack in Chiang Mai, but we're able to really get deep in and enjoy that city because we've got those 3 nights there. So really well priced for 16 days, because remember, this does include your return flights. It does include all your quality accommodation, breakfast, lunch and dinners as per itinerary, and all of your guides, transfers, coach touring and your local host. So really, really good value for money, that one. So next one on my little small group touring destinations is Vietnam and Cambodia. So this tour does fly into Hanoi and it does fly out of Siem Reap. And we also fly across to Cambodia from Vietnam, which does make it easier taking the stress away from those border crossings where you can, on some days, be faced with a load of traffic that banks up for miles. So we're just going to take all the stress out and we'll fly between Vietnam and Cambodia. Of course, the highlights on this trip is the overnight cruise on Ha Long Bay. So when I went to Ha Long Bay, I only went up for the day, and I really did wish I had done the overnight cruise because it is such a fabulous place, really relaxing, and an iconic part of Vietnam that is well worth staying on the boat overnight. We visit the lovely city of Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam. And with Hanoi, it has a mixture of that old and new. So it doesn't feel like a big city because it's got some wonderful old buildings. It's easy to get around, and it just has such a lovely vibe. Then we'll do our Mekong Delta exploration, and of course we'll include Ho Chi Minh City, but no trip to Vietnam is complete without touching on the Cu Chi tunnels. So we will head down there and have a look through the Cu Chi tunnels. We'll have a look at the tunnel system, how it all worked, and the trapdoors between each of the levels of the tunnels, how small you had to be to get down into the tunnels, and some of the quirks of the Viet Cong that actually ended with them being successful, because they had some very smart ways of dealing with the opposition. So it's a really fascinating trip. And of course, then we'll head into Cambodia and touch off on all the iconic things to see in Cambodia and then fly home. So another great one to have a look at, and really good value for money. Remember, these are the smaller groups. And the last one to highlight on our smaller group section here is India. Now, look at that price for 13 days. That's pretty sensational. This is exceptional value for money for the Golden Triangle. You do have some me time. As I said, that's our own time in the city of Jaipur. But remember, when you've got me time and you do have your local host with you for the duration of the tour, you can ask them what's the best things to do. They can guide you on what you can do in your free time. But as I said, some of you might just like to have that down day and enjoy where you are. We do sunrise at the Taj Mahal. We cover off the UNESCO heritage sites. And as I mentioned, it is really great value for money, this trip to India, and you'll be looked after. Of course, our guide has been vetted, so you'll know that you'll have a good local host with you the whole time. So that's all. That's where I'm going to leave international, but don't think that that's all the international product we have. If you check out our website, we do have other destinations there like Cook Islands, New Zealand. We've got Borneo that is going in October. So there's a load of other international destinations. We just thought we'd touch on those few and introduce our new small group touring today. So let's jump into Australia or our domestic tours. I'm just going to grab a little sip of water while we go through the Australian product. And again, when I'm touching on the Australian product, we have a whole heap of other Australian product on our website. This is just what we have featured today on this webinar. So going to start with the lovely Norfolk Island. It is one of our favourites and close to home. Important to know with Norfolk Island too that you can travel there on your driver's licence, even though we leave from the international terminal. Some of your members or some of your friends may have decided not to renew their passport. So it's important to know that with Norfolk Island, you can go on your driver's licence. The tour has been, this particular date, going over Christmas, has been designed for those who've either have their children overseas and they won't be able to have a Christmas with them. They're on their own and they have nothing planned for Christmas. They might not have any family. They might be a single person. And they might, it's a good one to gather a few friends together. Sometimes you do those anybody Christmas days if you're on your own. So this would be a good option to, why don't we head to Norfolk Island for Christmas? With this itinerary, we've got the iconic things like Who Killed the Surveyor Murder Mystery Tour, Colleen McCulloch's home tour. So we go behind the scenes of her home and learn about her as a person. We also have a guided breakfast bushwalk where we get to go through some of those beautiful Norfolk Island pines on the walk and then enjoy a lovely breakfast overlooking Captain Cook's Lookout. And then, of course, the iconic fish fry where we'll have the beautiful Bounty beauties who do the island dancing for us, and we get to sample some of the beautiful fish that is locally caught that day for us. So it's a good one to think about for over Christmas if you have nothing planned. And of course, it is going to be December, so the weather should be nice and warm for you to take your cozies and have a little swim in either Emily Bay or at your hotel pool for that one. The next one I want to feature is a little short break in Sydney. Now, you may have seen on our websites previously that we have had Vivid. Of course, that's in June each year. But this one was the same type of concept, but we thought that it's a great one to feature Australia Day. So much goes on Sydney Harbour celebrating Australia Day, and we thought, why not? Let's be part of it. So we've pieced it together with the highlight being the Sydney Harbour Cruise, where we celebrate in style aboard with a festive lunch, which has live music. And then, of course, we get front row seats because we're on the harbour to looking at all the like the ferry races and everything that is going on in Sydney Harbour for Australia Day. One of the other days on tour, we'll head up to the beautiful Blue Mountains. I mean, I know a lot of people may have done the Blue Mountains before, but it is lovely to visit again. We'll go and do the Scenic Railway and Skyway. And then you'll have some time at Everglades House and Gardens, which is a beautiful garden right in the centre of Leura. And then we'll give you free time to wander the iconic shops there, have a little coffee in the main street. It's a beautiful little mountains town, and well worth a visit. And of course, the trip will also include a guided Sydney highlights tour where we'll show you around the landmarks of Sydney to Circular Quay and Mrs. Macquarie's Chair. So it's a great little break, and a good little short break for your club as well. The next one I want to highlight is Victoria. So Victoria is, again, one of our places that a lot of people love to visit. It is a popular place. There's so much to see down there, and the driving distances in Victoria are not too far. So we can include a lot of great attractions within a short amount of travelling distance. This tour, the Great Victoria Explorer, does cover off on some of our most popular destinations, like Bright, which is up in the Snowy Mountains. We've got Beechworth in there, which, as far as I know, has one of the most iconic bakeries in Australia, and everybody who goes there talks about it. There's also Beechworth Honey, so it is quite a little iconic Victorian town. And then you've got Bendigo, so of course famous for the gold rush. Lots of beautiful historic buildings in Bendigo. We do the historic vintage talking tram when we're on tour. We'll also visit the Golden Dragon Museum and the Pottery Place in Bendigo, and we'll do some wine tasting at Glen Willow Wines, sorry. So this is packed full of amazing attractions, and another great one for you to join on to in November. Good time of the year to travel to Victoria. It's off-peak, so it does make a nice itinerary, or if you're looking for your club for next year. So let's head across Bass Strait, and I'm going to talk about one of my favourite destinations. I did live in Tassie for quite some time, so I do know it very well. And what I was excited about when I saw this tour is that it was different. A lot of people do the round circle of Tassie, but Tassie over the years has become known for its wine and produce. It's really all about experiencing the taste of Tasmania, and this tour really covers tasting Tassie while you're there. So we're going to go across to Bruny Island for the day, and we'll visit all of the gourmet places down there on Bruny Island, taste the honey, and visit different destinations. There's a chocolate place on Bruny Island, and not just that, it is quite a pretty place to visit. You'll also be going down the Huon Valley. So the Huon Valley is just south of Hobart. It's one of the most picturesque drives that we can do in Tassie. It's got rolling countryside. It was the place where a lot of the apples were grown years ago in Tasmania, and where Tassie got its name, the Apple Isle. But not so many these days, but we have found one where we can go and take you for a cider tasting and lunch at Willie Smith's Apple Shed, so that's going to be great. And then, of course, we visit Hobart and the historic village nearby Hobart called Richmond, so that's good. And then we'll head up the east coast to Tassie. We're going to head to a little place called Freycinet National Park. It's quite iconic. Wineglass Bay, where we take a boat trip into, was named one of the best beaches in Australia for quite some time. So we'll take a boat trip around there. But the other thing we will do is take the coach up to the top of the Freycinet National Park, where we visit Cape Torval. This is a lighthouse, and it does have a boardwalk around the lighthouse to the front, and it overlooks the ocean, and you can take a glimpse around to Wineglass Bay from the top there. It's quite spectacular. And then, of course, no trip to Freycinet is complete without stopping at the marine farm, where we can taste the fresh oysters that have come out of the sea just nearby. So last but not least, in Tassie, we're going down the Tamar Valley. Been compared to touring in France along the Rhine River, but it has some wonderful vineyards sloping down into the Tamar River. And so we'll do a day out the Tamar before having a farewell dinner in Launceston. So it is a really fabulous Taste of Tasmania trip and going in a really good time of the year in February. So we're lucky to get that availability for that time of the year. The Murray Princess, I like to call this quintessential Australia. It is heading up the beautiful, mighty Murray River. What we do first is we'll head in and do some time in Adelaide with some city sites. We'll make sure you see Harndorf. We'll touch on Victor Harbour, where they have the Granite Island horse-drawn tram. And then we'll do the beautiful Coorong lunch cruise. Doing that lunch cruise is great because they'll give us an insight into the area and explain why the Coorong is so important and what it's known for and the ecosystem there. And then, of course, we'll head on to the mighty Murray River on the Murray Princess. It's a beautiful old paddle steamer. It's got a lovely little coffee shop area at the back where they have complimentary tea and coffee where you can sit and just watch the world go by. But if you wanted to do some activities on there, they have some talks on the flora and fauna. They do bocce on the riverbank. They have entertainment. So there's someone on there who does some songs and has a guitar and some singing. And there is actually even a fishing competition, and they'll take you out on the water in some smaller boats to see things a little bit up close and personal. So it's a great fun trip, 8 days, 7 nights. It covers off on everything, and it is a really great one to see the Murray River in all its glory because it's such a beautiful part. And make sure you go up the top of the boat at sunset because some of those images and the colours are just to die for. So last but not least of the tours that I'm going to highlight today is the Queensland Southern Outback Trail. And without a word of a lie, this is one of my favourite tours. When I get to host this one, I get pretty excited. I love going out the outback. The hospitality is amazing. They can't do enough for us, but the scenery is quite different and unique. I'll just flick across here shortly to the map. So this is the area that we travel out to. So a lot of you may have done Longreach before. It's a little bit further up from Carnarvon National Park that you can see on this map, but we're heading west from Brisbane. So we head out around about 1,000 kilometres out west. The furthest we head is to Eromanga out there. That's about 1,000 kilometres west of Brisbane. So we do cover off the little towns of St George, Cunnamulla, out to Thargomindah, and then Quilpie. We stay at Tuguna Plains, which is a station out there, which has lovely accommodation, do a beautiful sunset dinner. One of the highlights is actually visiting a cotton farm at St George where we learn all about cotton growing, the channels, the water irrigation. We've also got Thargomindah, which was where one of the first hydro plants were, which we visit. It's a tiny little town. Of course, it was affected by the floods, so it's important that we keep these tours going out there and supporting that local environment. They do have a little hospital there, which is really well serviced by the Royal Flying Doctors, which I thought was fantastic. Another part of good Aussie outback Australia. And then another highlight is looking at Eromanga, the Natural History Museum there, and looking at Australia's largest dinosaur Cooper, which you'll see in the photo there with the lady pointing. And there are a lot of people working on fossils in that area. You'll see when we go through the museum that they're painting back the fossils to see if they can find some dinosaur bones. So it's quite a fascinating area. And lastly, the two other towns that we're looking at is Charleville and Roma. Charleville has a World War II secrets tour. I can't tell you because it's a secret, but every time we do this tour, people absolutely love it. And we visit a date farm in Charleville. And then in Roma, we get to go to one of the largest cattle sale yards in Australia, and we get to witness a cattle auction. And we have a guide there, and they explain all about how cattle works in Australia. So that's quite fascinating as well. There is much, 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 much more in this tour. I haven't even touched on Cunnamulla. but it's a fabulous tour if you're keen to head out. This one is going June next year, but we do still have some departures in September and October, or August, September and October, that you can join onto this year if this one seems like something you'd like to do. I'm actually hosting one in September if you're keen. So why choose us? So this is important to know, just to reiterate what we've been through already on the presentation. That is that we are, well, firstly, I don't know if I did mention that we are Australian owned, so your money does stay here in Australia. So that's really important. Remember, we went through that we are fully accredited. So we have ticked all those boxes as far as having our ducks in a row. And we give end-to-end service. So what we mean by that is that from your initial meeting with us as maybe your area sales manager in either Queensland, Victoria, or New South Wales, or Sunshine Coast, or any of the other areas where you meet one of our team members to discuss what you like, right through until when you get back from your tour, you have someone dedicated to each process of that tour. So to make sure that you get the best out of it. And it includes our hosts who are really experienced in what they do, and make sure that that when you're on tour that everything's covered off. And of course, being with Probus for over 20 years lets you know that that's important. The long-term partnerships, we've been in business for 33 years, I think. Well, it's over 30 years. We had our 30th year anniversary a few years ago now. So, and we create communities. Can't tell you the number of times where I've been on tour and we've had someone who's on their own and or just lost their partner, or wanting to travel now in a group when they've been traveling independently, and the comments at the end of the tour of how much fun they've had in the group and the community we've created as we're going along. You know, that's what you're creating in your clubs, and we certainly are on board with that within our company as well. So that's important to know. Club relationships and our people. So I was adding up in our team about how much experience just our hosts have in travel, and the destinations we've all been to. So it's over 43 years experience just within New South Wales. And when we're talking Brisbane and other areas, they are the same, if not more experience. So we have a whole group of people here. We're all smiling. We love what we do. We have a load of specialist experience within the team, whether it's within our product team who create and refine all of the itineraries that you're doing, through to our consultants who are looking after every single detail of the tour before you travel and during, and then at the end when they're following you up to see how it all went. Service is really important to us as a company, and we understand that. So, and we thank you for trusting us when you're coming to book something with us. So just a reminder that we are a specialist in mature travellers. So we do look after you as a mature traveller, and that's really important to know as well. We do have a Probus benefit scheme. So as a member, you can log in and check out what is available to you under the Probus benefit scheme. As a club, you can get some rewards like $500 for a domestic group or $1,000 for international. And as a past passenger, if you've done 3 or more tours since January 25, we do have a loyalty program as well. So just check with either your area sales manager or your reservation consultant, and they can update you on what applies to you. So that's good for you to know as well. So on that note, I'll just finish up with saying we contact us, for a coffee or a chat. We're always open to, we'll even shout coffee. So we're open to having a chat with you on how we can work with you as an individual or at a club level. And I hope what we've spoken about today gives you a little idea of what we have to offer, but there's plenty more on our website, or just give us a call and have a chat about what you're thinking. Thank you. I'll pass back to Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Kayleen. I was actually thinking maybe we could do the Q&A first before the prize draw. Do we have any questions from anyone? I've just checked the chat. I can't see anything. I can. No questions. Well, I have a question because I was thinking that when I was listening to you, Kayleen, you mentioned that the Outback was one of your favorites tours.
Yes.
And I know that we go to Cunnamulla, and we go to the Club Boutique Hotel. I
Yes.
thought it would be interesting. I thought it might be interesting to some of our guests today to hear a little bit about the Cunnamulla Hotel, the characters that they have there, and and also that there's the accommodation, but there's also the glamping there as well.
That's right. So Cunnamulla, we not only do we visit it on the Queensland Southern Outback, but we do have a little indulgence package as well for 5 days. The indulgence package is completely different to anything you have, and it is exclusive to Trade Travel. So we visit the Cunnamulla Hot Springs, which you can see in the photo that I've just put up on your screen with all those little hot baths there. They do have ramps down into the baths. They're all different temperatures, and the water comes from the Eromanga Basin. So it is supposed to make you feel amazing and take all your wrinkles out and all of those wonderful things. We've done it a couple of times. I did look younger afterwards, so it is a fantastic thing to do. We stay in a place called the Club Boutique Hotel, which is right in Cunnamulla itself. And the lady who runs that, or who owns it, is a lady by the name of Pieta Mills. She is fifth generation Cunnamulla. Her family also own the local IGA in the area, and they are their family also comes from just Yulo and the Cunnamulla area. So they have been out there for a very long time. So what she doesn't know about the area is not worth knowing. And if she doesn't know something, she'll just ring up one of her mates in town and find out the answer. So it is quite a unique experience to head out there and be hosted by Pieta. She can't do enough for you. We always tour around as well as doing the indulgent package. Carolyn mentioned the glamping tent. So when we head out to Cunnamulla, in the back garden area of Club Boutique Hotel, she's got some glamping. They have their own little en-suites out the back, and it is quite unique. You've got rugs in there, mats. You've got all of your. There's even a fridge with tea and coffee in it. Your kettle. There's a heating in there. It's just an amazing little setup, and I've stayed in there a couple of times, and it's just definitely something worth doing if you're out there. So we do that. We can do that as part of the indulgence package if you'd like to do that. So yes, it's a good place to visit. And if any of you have heard of the Cunnamulla fella, he sits proudly in town, a statue that was gifted to them, and we learn all about that and go to the All Aboard, which talks about. So it's a little show that we head around to. I'm trying to think of. It's like a hologram show. And that does give you the history of Cunnamulla, because it used to be one of the richest postcodes in Australia, and it rode off the sheep's back. So it's very interesting, and they had a rail line that headed into Cunnamulla. So that's also the history of Cunnamulla that we get told, as well as our little indulgence with massages and hot springs and mud baths. So back to you, Carolyn.
Brilliant. We've got. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're right. We have a couple of questions in the chat. So, and then I'll let Catherine go first. Did you want to ask a question?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry, I can't get the chat to work. Every time I click on it, it just reverts back, and I won't let you type anything. I noticed on the previous page about there was the benefits for return travellers, but there was a mention about being able to have a look somewhere and see what Probus tours may be up and looking for, whether that Yeah, whether there's tours that are needing more people, haven't got quite enough in the club. Is there a way of accessing those? Or
yeah, so you're best to reach out to your area sales manager.
Okay.
So whereabouts are you?
I'm in Victoria, and the Ballarat one, I think, is Kathy Rivet is our closest one. She came down just very recently and did a talk at our Provis group here in Bannockburn.
Great. So Kathy would be able to let you know what she has that others are needing numbers on. But then she also has a great idea of what the rest of us in different states have as well that you can join on to.
Okay.
So it might just be from your area, say, for example, like I've got one going out to Orange and Mudgee in the next, like in October, and that club would like some extra numbers. So it would just be a matter of you flying into Sydney to join on to that one. So there are a few options, but it's best to speak to your area manager for her to work with you on how you might join those tours and whether and what the details are around that. But yes, definitely contact your area manager. But the other ones are up on our website. So you can join, if you're a smaller club that doesn't necessarily get your minimum numbers, you can join in as a small group onto any of those ones on the website.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
That's okay. Yep.
Great question. Thank you. We have a question also for, you mentioned there are other departures for the Queensland Southern Outback this year. Where can I find this information?
Okay. So up whereabouts are you from?
Oh, it doesn't say where.
Okay.
So maybe it's just on the website, I guess.
Well, there's yes. So up on our website, we've got an August, a September, and an October departure that are all going this year. September the 3rd, I'm actually hosting. So if anybody wants to come and join me, otherwise the other 2 departures are available if those dates don't suit you as well. So there are a few going out there this year, and of course it's a great time of the year to go out, August, September, October, because it's nice and, well, hopefully nice and dry, and it's not quite as hot as it would be at other times of the year. So we always make sure we're going at the right time of the year for you. And that's another point with that new small group touring in Asia. We've chosen the times that are best times to visit those particular areas. So I just thought I'd mention that. As a general rule, that's what we tend to do.
We've got another question from Trish, and it's, as I arrange Probus group tours already, may I just go to my usual Brisbane consultants, or do I have to go to a different group?
So
not quite sure on that one.
So probably the best place to start is to call the area sales manager in Brisbane, and then they can talk to you about what particular tours you're interested in, and then they can give you a time frame on when we can get back to you. If you phone a consultant in the office, that what they'll do is they'll usually refer you back to the area manager, because we do need to sort of qualify what you want to do, put it into our system so that the tour can be created for you, and so that the consultant would send it back to us to do that to start with, and then they take it over once the product people have made sure that that tour is written how you want it to be.
Fantastic, thank you. And we have another one saying you recently asked for expressions of interest for the historic Port of Ekka tour for 2027. Any further information on this tour? Any dates? Is it likely to proceed?
Historic Port of Echuca?
Echuca, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Was that from New South Wales, or was that Victoria? Do we know?
They haven't
or
mentioned.
Queensland? If we can get your details offline, we can follow that one up for you.
Perfect. So we'll come back to Howard on that.
Okay. Yep.
And let me just check that we don't have any other questions in the chat that I haven't missed. There was a question around, could you please reiterate the benefits of the travel tribe? How many tours do we have before we receive that discount?
Okay, so currently as it sits at the moment, once you have travelled with us 3 times, your 4th tour will receive a $100 discount. So, and that's since January 2025 that was bought in. So if you've done you've done 3 tours from January 25 up until now, your 4th tour will be eligible for the $100 discount. However, we did have a meeting last week, and that is being reviewed. Currently, that's how it stands. So that's what you would get right now. But we are definitely looking at moving and changing that a bit more to make it, yes. Anyway, we'll update you if it changes to be anything different. But right now, as it sits, you'll get the $100 off on your 4th tour if you've done 3 already since January 25.
And we have one last question. On smaller groups, can you join as a solo traveller?
Of course you can, most definitely.
We love our solo travellers.
We do
have loads
love
of
it.
them, and they all have a great time and, you know,
Yes.
don't want to leave. So
you certainly can. So the other thing to do is you probably are already all in our travel club, but if you've got friends or members, just get them to sign up to our travel club, because that's where often you'll see things come out, like new tours, or if there's something that needs more numbers on, we might feature that, send it out. And if there's a few cruises that we're promoting, we'll send that out on the Travel Club website, on the Travel Club newsletters as well. It's not a huge newsletter, so it won't take you very long to read. It just gives you an idea of what we're doing. So, yes.
Brilliant.
And last but not least, if Carolyn, you're going to do a prize draw, are you, before I play the video?
Oh, yes, perfect. Yes, sure. Okay, well, I might just share screen. Bear with me. Thinking about it. So what we have today, just as a little thank you for everyone coming along, we have a little prize draw that we're going to do. It's for some lovely Cocoa Black Australian Critters chocolates and also a bottle of wine. Just a little thank you to say appreciate you coming along. So I just click this button. And Neville is our winner. Fantastic, Neville. You've got some Cocoa Black chocolates coming your way.
Okay, congratulations, Neville.
And we've got another one. Howard Cook has got a bottle of wine coming your way. So I'll reach out to you guys and get that sorted for you. So thank you very much for coming. And
well done, Howard.
I'll stop sharing. Well done.
Okay, so if you can all see my screen, what I'd like to finish off with is just a little video that shows a lot of our people on tour. You might see yourself in it, hopefully. So, yes, here we go with our last video. And
you just need to share screen again.
Oh, do I?
You just need to share screen again. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. I'm just going to share my screen again. Technology, you see. It's always good when you know how to do it, right? Is that sharing?
Not yet.
Okay, let me see. Sorry. Just put that. Just go out and try it. You can't see it yet, anyone? No?
No.
Okay. Okay, share. Share. Oh, sorry, people. I apologise that I am share. I'm looking at that.
Well, that's all right. If you're not able to share, that's okay. We can just say thank you.
I'm so sorry. A little video to show you, but that's all right. We'll work on that. So yes, I'm pressing share, but it seems to want to share a link for some reason and not the actual video. So I apologize for that. Thank you very much to everybody who attended today. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of our staff members, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction, because it's important that we get you to the right person who can answer your queries for you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kylie.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.